born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes. Welcome, athletes, into the gym closet
Yo, yo.
for another episode. We are on episode 187. We have an awesome one. Amber's back today.
That's why it's awesome, guys.
That's why it's awesome. Yes, and we have a new season to talk about, so we'll be talking about that. We have a new myth to talk about. Did we discuss that?
We do.
We do. And
it may be a myth. Yeah, it's a myth.
Yeah,
We have a craving.
We do have a craving.
We do.
We have football season to talk about. We have some terrible debate that we've been having the last.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it is.
Yeah, it's a terrible debate if I'm arguing about who's the worst of two bad teams.
No, Iowa's a bad team. Iowa has a bad offense. Nebraska's a bad team.
I would say they're both very bad teams. Oh, I take that back. They're not very bad teams. They're just bad teams.
No, Nebraska's a very bad team. Iowa is a great defense, a terrible offense, combining for an average team.
We'll have to have this conversation again in I'm sure every week, but in
yes, we will.
6 or 7 games, we'll see where Iowa's at. Because
right.
Their defense scoring more than their offense is not a good start
That's
to
Iowa
the
football,
season.
though. That's Iowa football.
Iowa football is defense.
That's a good sign for Iowa.
Offense just being their defense and defense.
Yeah, that's a
being
good
offense.
sign for Iowa.
That's good. That's
See,
good.
I think if you guys had played Northwestern, you would have lost.
I probably agree, honestly. If
After
you don't
that.
lose Northwestern.
No.
Anyway, so if this is your first time joining us, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like, the little thumbs up, help the algorithm send this to more people. If this is the first time you're joining us and you don't know what the hell the gym closet is, welcome, Krave Nation. We have basically a podcast that we talk about why living like an athlete is optimizing your life, your success, everything that we're doing in life. And I just had 1,000 pop-ups on my computer, and I hope that it's still recording through that. But sorry to interrupt. But yeah, so we talk about how to be successful in life, both inside the gym and outside of the gym, living like an athlete, training like an athlete, and why that's so important. So with that, at Krave, we have 6 different seasons throughout the year. So we are just starting our new Heart and Hustle season. It's an endurance season. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Do we want to talk about that first or something else?
Let's talk about that first.
All right. So Power Partner is the
American Cancer Society.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
The wheels were turning.
Well, it used to be Susan G. Komen, and then we had to kind of switch it around.
Yeah.
So we always like to.
And you're quick to the trigger.
Don't
I
take
was
a breath.
helping you out.
like it.
No, I was
Take a breath.
actually in the middle of thinking whether it was national or American.
American.
Cancer
Okay.
Society, and it's American Cancer Society.
Yeah.
So typically we were pink, as you can see with the backgrounds, as far as like Susan G. Komen breast cancer. But now we've gone to multiple colors as far as the season goes, because we are talking about cancer awareness in general. And so in moving from Susan G. Komen to American Cancer Society, that's kind of what we did. And keeping that in... Oh,
The boss.
got
About time he fucking calls me back.
yeah. And now,
I hope he watches this
now
podcast.
now you won't talk to him for another week. So this season is an endurance season, which means we are training extra endurance. We also will talk about the benefits that we have in our strength side of things too, with higher rep ranges. And we'll talk about that a little bit today. But the biggest thing is working on our endurance. We have a split, so this is kind of our steady state one. As far as our challenge, we're doing the Iron Horse Challenge, which is our mile run. And then we have the multiple rounds. So you have 4 minutes of steady state and then some sprints as well. But anything else?
Can I just, I need to interject and say that I still wish that it was the ostrich challenge.
See, I would have loved to. I just could not find the right
An ostrich
artwork.
logo.
Yeah, for a logo.
Yeah, so like for everyone, for the behind the scenes peek here, like when we wanted to name all the challenges, right? So we started with the schooner challenge and then the farmer challenge this season. So like I remember it was like 6 months ago at this point, but we were like racking our brains and we were like, what's like an animal that can run like long distances? Yeah. So we Googled it and it was like, oh, like the most, like I don't even know how the wording of it was, but the animal that can run the farthest without stopping is like an ostrich.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And every logo that I looked at for any picture, anything that I looked at of an ostrich to try to put it into a logo did not look like an ostrich. Like you would have to have a full body ostrich picture.
How about a roadrunner?
That's literally what I was
just
thinking. But
well, it's too late now.
Yeah, too late now.
Too late.
Yeah. But even roadrunners in real life are like look nothing like that cartoon.
Oh, they don't?
They're like a tiny little bird.
Roadrunners are like this big,
tiny,
and they go run across. I saw one today. Where was I? I don't remember where I was, but I saw one run down the parking lot, and they look like they're like floating.
They do. Like you can even see their legs going. Yeah, they are
really
flying. Yeah.
But they're tiny. They're tiny.
But
so
yeah,
like,
they're
the Roadrunner cartoon. They had to
love
completely
that
change
cartoon.
up what it was.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
What was the actual cartoon called though?
Wile E. Coyote.
That's what the cartoon was. I don't think so.
I don't know. That's who.
That's who his nemesis was.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
But I don't know what the
actual
actual cartoon was. I like that. Yeah, figure it out. But yeah, so that would have been a great one. But also, guess who can go miles at a time?
Horses.
A locomotive, an iron horse.
Locomotive.
Yeah.
People, Krave athletes game.
Krave athletes game, right? So we'll be running outside for that challenge, and we'll have it mapped out at each location. At West Des Moines is the only one that I remember. You guys can chirp in here about the Waukee one, but for us, it's 3.5 laps around the natural building sidewalk alley lap that everybody does anyway.
So ours, we go down to University.
Yeah, so we start on the driveway. You start on the driveway on Alice's Road because there's 2 driveways into the parking lot at Waukee. So you start at the Alice's Road driveway, down to University, take a left down to.
It's a bunch of lefts. But
it is it's like there's a bank there. I don't know what the bank is called. I think it's like Brick Drive. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
So go down Brick. Take a left on Olson, and then you end at the driveway on the Olson Road, Olson Drive side of things.
Okay, so it's just one lap.
It's just one lap.
It's
a
nice.
nice.
I like it.
It's actually nice. It's just one big lap.
I think I would prefer one big lap.
I definitely would. Yeah.
Versus.
It's like when you do a race. Remember when we were in Sioux City, I had to do that half marathon, and like you ran 7 miles down. And then you had to turn around and like do the same thing.
Oh, that'd be awful.
That's
awful. I remember
did you
how
already
far
see
out
it?
this was.
Yes.
Right, that's
and now
right.
I'm going back and,
you're going back. It's the worst thing ever.
No, I like having it be one big lap.
Yeah.
Wasn't it someone last year? I think it was Jack Andrews. Ended up like in the apartment complex somewhere. Like he went like 3 blocks too far, and then like 10 minutes later he like walked in and he was like, I don't know where.
It's like your first 3 laps. Just take a lap.
But we will have it mapped out for you at Waukee as well. So
there are flags. Yeah.
Do not overrun that.
And get the Strava app downloaded because we will be doing some team versus team stuff with that. So
yes.
A lot of people have downloaded the Strava app.
So we will have instructions on how to download and what to do. But we also have, if you go to our app on the home page, there's a Strava marathon challenge little icon. Click that. That will take you to Strava to download the app. So on our Krave Gym app, where you go every day to book your sessions, then you can jump into that. So that should be up and running and available now, and we should have the teams up and running and available now, correct?
And this is a fun season just because the weather gets nice outside and we just see people become a little bit more active, especially on their off days. Because I know some weeks we have people that their goal is to hit 20 miles in 1 week for an entire 8 weeks. Some people, they have a goal of 5 miles a week. And so it makes you on your off days get out and help your team out with accumulating miles, but also helps you stay a little bit more accountable when it comes to achieving your goals. So it's really fun. I like having the Strava
goal
app.
for everyone would be, hence the name Marathon Challenge, would be to run the 26 point, is it 26 point something?
I think
Call it
26.2.
Call it 27. Let's all run 27 miles the next 8 weeks.
So run, walk, whatever
Yep.
you can do, but yeah, it's fun. And then we'll give awards out for people that hit that full marathon.
Yes. So super fun. It's great to be able to track that stuff. And I think that it's also, I think that like a lot of people enjoy running a little bit when you're outside. The weather's nice. It's not overly hot like it's been all summer. But then like it gets difficult to just go out and run for no reason with no goal. And so for me, like this is the season where I will actually run a little bit and run a mile at a time outdoors, because like every other time I'm like, well, for what? You know what I mean? Like it just gets boring to me if I'm not, or I'll do something on the treadmill, or I'd rather do other stuff. This is where it feels like, okay, now we can compete a little bit in the running element of it and have a goal. And for me, that's the only thing that matters for me for running, because I'm not going to be
You're
running.
not a big runner.
Not a big runner.
That's all right.
But I'm going to get the marathon done in the next 8 weeks.
All right. Holding you to it.
Bingo. That's 26. I got to run 26 out of, 60 days? If I do a mile a day?
Yeah, we could do a half mile every day.
True.
That sounds like that's a lot of days, though.
That does sound like a lot of days.
Yeah, so that's the season is starting today. This is our free week, so if you are watching us and you're curious about what we do, how we train, our West Des Moines and Waukee location is free for this week, and then we start our challenge next week. And depending on when we get this, the week of what is this week? What's the date today?
Today's the 6th.
6th?
Your birthday's
All
tomorrow.
right, so the week of the 6th is the free week, and then the week of the 10th? No,
12th.
11th,
12th.
12th. The week of the 12th is then starts the challenge week, and that'll be on Monday. So that way it doesn't matter when I load this, that it does. We'll say free week this week, and it'll come out on Sunday, and everybody will be like, oh, that's confused. So yes, the free week is from the 6th through 10th.
Yep.
Which is this week right now. So cool. But yes, we were going to talk about, so getting into our myth, we are going to be talking about high rep range in strength, because now when we're in strength for this season, we are doing high rep range, 15 to 20 reps. And the myth, you want to announce the myth?
Yeah.
All right.
So the myth is, I forgot.
I'm gonna zoom. I'm just gonna straight zoom in on your face for that.
Who lets me do these?
So the myth is.
The
Can we need like a buzzer? Like
So
a,
our myth
Yeah.
today
Like
is
a-
that
I remember it. The myth is that high rep range. The
He's
myth
just adding
is
some
that
humor into this.
high rep range, low weight is not going to be as effective
to build muscle.
to build muscle mass as a lower rep range. So if you actually look, there's a whole big, I remember like when I was in school, they gave us like the piece of paper with like the whole spectrum of like rep ranges and like what they're good for. And the lower end of the rep range, so like the 1 to 3 rep range, that's mostly about working on your power, right? So that's like a strength in numbers type season, or a lift to lift type season where we're very, very heavyweight, low reps. That middle rep range, so like 5 to 10, 12-ish, somewhere in that range, is more of your strength type rep range. And then the hypertrophy rep range is your high reps, so like 15 to 20 reps. That's actually, again, it all exists on a spectrum, what they would consider the optimal rep range for your hypertrophy or building muscle mass. So one of the things I think we talk about a lot this season when we're going over the 2 strength rounds is muscular endurance. So there's your cardiovascular endurance, but there's also your muscular endurance, which is, you know, being able to lift for a ton of reps over and over and over and over and over again. So I do hear that a lot. I know from guys especially that we get into endurance season and we start lifting lighter weights. And they're like, oh, I'm going to lose all my gains. I'm going to, you know, show up into nothing. That's
the myth part of it is that, you know, and oftentimes
For
the
getting
guys.
it, you did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
you
not
pulled
really.
that out of your ass.
So it's, you know, for the guys that you know, addressing that myth, for the guys we're talking about, oh, I'm going to lose muscle mass, I'm going to do this, do that. The thing that you have to consider is, you know, most guys would care less, I think, about what weight is on the bar in the gym, or if they had to pick one, right? So if they had to pick, I'm just lifting more weight in the gym, or B, I look like I could lift a shitload of weight
Right.
because I have
most
big
guys
muscles.
guys are picking like the aesthetic side
Yes.
of things.
Most
Yeah,
people are
for
picking
looks.
the looks of muscles, right? So, yeah, kind of going back to that spectrum, when you get to the higher rep range, now you're working that muscle hypertrophy, which the muscle hypertrophy is basically the look, how big your muscles are going to look. And so that is an optimal rep
Swole
range for that.
Nation.
Yeah,
Swole.
if you want to get juicy,
Oh, I
And,
can't wait.
and so
you
you're,
gotta
you're talking about
lift
like the
light.
pump. You're talking about pump too, like
Oh yeah.
like this, and that's the reason you work on muscle endurance. So the reason that you are unable to lift a weight, even a lightweight, for a long amount of time, and when we're talking about muscle endurance, is because the lactic acid buildup in your muscle. That's also the pump. So you get a better pump with that. But then the challenge and the benefit of lifting high reps for a season, and keep in mind, these are only 8 weeks. So we get into heavy lifting here next season anyway. But this season is great for that lactic threshold and being able to push past that point of failure if you're doing a light rep. And that's like, I typically will go back and forth all year round, where we don't necessarily do that because we do 8-week increments for lifting in Krave stuff or in the Krave seasons. But with me personally, if I'm lifting all year round, I'm lifting a couple weeks at low rep range, you know, the 5 by 5 type of rep range, the couple weeks at 10 rep range, 10 to 12 rep range, and then a couple weeks at 15 to 20 rep range. And so those 15 to 20 rep range, you can definitely tell the difference when you're doing that. I did a chest workout today and got to the point at the end of the workout, we were struggling doing 10 push-ups, and that's, you know, that's not very many for us. And doing 10 push-ups, we should, right? Not to brag, but
Damn.
but that 10 push-ups was very, very difficult at the end of the day, and that was because we had done so many reps. The lactic acid buildup in our muscles was huge, and so to have it be challenging to do that, or the other thing that's fun too is you have like you do a whatever it is, like a lot of times when you do say you're doing an arm day, right, and you end up curling these high reps, and now 20 pounds feels like it's 100 pounds, right? That's the best, like, for that, in my opinion.
yeah.
Like, that's awesome, because then you can, like, you're not having to struggle through the crazy, like, the central nervous system, like taxing your central nervous system like you would with a heavy squat. But now you're doing 20 rep squats, so now you're just feeling it in your legs.
Oh, it's awful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Like when you squat heavy for a low rep range, I can't really. It's tough to say where you feel it. You know what I mean? But
Right,
you just
yeah.
feel
Yeah.
you just feel busted.
Yeah.
Like you don't just feel it in your legs.
Right.
You do feel it in your legs a little bit, but I mean overall, it's
Not
just
the
because
same as
you're
you would
taxed.
doing a ton of reps.
You're just
though.
taxed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now you do a 20 reps, and not only are you like
It's almost
winded a little
laughable
bit?
though, because like I'll just do the bar then, and my legs
Oh,
are
yeah.
burning, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's funny how much.
And I personally love the high rep range
Yeah.
because for me mentally it's like, okay, this workout isn't as challenging. So then I can hit a certain weight, all of that kind of stuff. And in reality, it is just as challenging, if not more challenging, with that lightweight.
Did you coach this morning or not?
I did.
So
Yep.
what did people come off of? Because it's always funny coming off of seasons.
Mhm.
People come in and they're like, I feel like I haven't worked out like ever,
Right.
because
Oh,
they're just
yeah.
their body's adjusting to like the new reps and stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
had an
all
athlete
weird.
come in and he's like, this first day, he goes, the first week of every new season just kicks my
Yeah.
ass. He goes, because it's totally different.
Mhm.
You know, like you get used to it for 8 weeks and then you go into something else, you're like, holy shit, I just got done doing a whole season and now I feel like I'm coming in like brand new.
Right.
Mhm.
But
I love it. It's great.
Which is exactly why we do training camp too. So the first week is free for anybody that's coming in, but it's also a training camp week kind of mentality of, okay, if you have been with us for over a year, you've probably done this season, but you haven't done it for at least a year. And so now you have to, remember, relearn some of the movements and kind of get back to, you're back to square one again a lot of times when it comes to this training. And so in our training camp week, we want to slow it down. We want to go over the movements. We want to potentially stop the clock and explain a little bit more to our athletes. And so keep that in mind. One, if you're a new athlete with us, you're not alone. This is new to everyone at this time. At least a year, has gone by since anybody has done these exact workouts. And then everybody, like you were saying, Dan, everybody is also back to kind of square one as far as the physiological feelings, the what your body's
Changes.
going through currently when you do change up your seasons is almost identical to starting over. Now you snap back right away if you've been a member or if you've been training as an athlete for a long time. You snap back to, you only feel that way for a week, right? If you're brand new or you're deconditioned and haven't trained for years and years and years, it might take a month to really get
I love
that
it though. I
back.
feel like it helps people understand like that your body can adjust to certain rep ranges, and then when you switch it up, now it's like your body's guessing again on what it has to do, because some fitness programs out there will just say, okay, we're always going to do 8 to 10 reps.
Right.
Well, then you can never change unless you add obviously more weight, less reps. So we kind of take the guesswork out of that for everybody by doing different seasons, which is fun. I think it's fun.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay,
that-
I gotta roll out.
Okay, well, that was our myth. You
What's
gonna
the craving?
introduce your
What's the
The
craving?
craving. Well, I gotta tell about the last one. The
Okay.
wings, best
Okay.
wings.
Go-
So remember, you guys called me in, and I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about hot wings or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, what should the craving be? And I said wings.
All right.
Have you guys had any good wings around the area?
Beat up's pretty good.
See, we were just talking about that. Have you
No.
been there lately?
It's been probably a few months at least, yeah.
I just have to mark
We
those
weren't. They were
wings.
like
Yeah,
small and like.
Do you get boneless or traditional?
No, I always get traditional.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. I love it though. Central Standard have really good ones. So Chicken Coop is on there. So Chicken
I have
Coop.
yet to
Does.
be there.
I haven't
Or
went there
gone-
either, yeah.
Go there.
Yeah,
I heard
it's
it's
pretty
really
fun.
good.
I had too.
If you go to the one on EP True, right? That's the Nebraska bar, I guess.
Go there.
Oh, never
Nebraska,
mind.
everybody go there.
Well, no, I knew there was a reason I didn't go.
Jethro's boneless wings,
Those
the
are
dry
good.
rub.
Those are good.
Those are super
Okay,
good, the dry
they
rub,
freak
yeah.
me out. They're like long.
They're weirdly
skinny.
shaped.
Yeah.
They are
They look
weirdly
like
shaped.
fries or something.
They're weirdly
When we
shaped. They're
remember we
super
ordered
But
them
they're
that one
boneless.
time.
The
Yeah.
boneless ones. Yeah,
And
they
we're
look
like,
they're
what
chicken
are
fingers.
these?
I mean,
Yeah.
boneless wings are
But
They
they're
gotta
just
go
not.
traditional.
I mean, they kind of are, but
boneless wings are just assorted bits of chicken
Yeah.
in reality,
Yeah.
honestly.
They're
remember
all
at
chicken
Jethro's
fingers.
we would always get the wings with those two different flavors.
Yeah.
The teriyaki and
Half dry rub something and half
the barbecue dry rub.
The barbecue dry rub is super
barbecue
good.
And then
dry
they-
rub plus teriyaki and mix them
Mix
together.
them together. They are bomb. That
That was the
flavor
best
is
food, yeah.
awesome.
That was
We've
the
gotten
best
them on the
one.
boneless wings too, and they were really good. Rico's at Drake.
Never had that.
Me
We never go down that area. It's just
Yeah.
so far away. I feel like, or it's just like a weird
Yeah.
area. I think there's a good sushi place in there. Something to do. Jerry's ask for extra crispy.
Jerry's.
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 Jerry.
Have you guys been there?
Are we referring to Jerry himself or
Yeah.
Jerry's
Jerry.
He's
place?
probably got some like special
G-
I bet
sauce.
Jerry's got. I bet Jerry makes good
G-E-R-I-S.
wings.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've heard of it before.
Jerry's.
Yeah, I don't know where it's.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
I hear.
that
I think it's like a little podunk,
I've heard of that either.
little mom and pop type bar.
Interesting.
Okay, so speaking of craving, I
Yeah.
think we'll need to. So I have started. Hopefully,
Okay,
we'll get it
gotta
filmed.
roll.
All right, have fun.
I'll watch the episode. You'll
All right.
film me, right?
Yep.
Okay, bye guys.
So get Amber out of here, maybe.
I want the camera. Where is it?
What's that? You want what camera? What camera?
The camera that we're recording the podcast
No,
on?
no, the big one that we took pictures on.
That is on the conference table.
Okay. Okay, bye guys.
Make sure that it has a SIM card in it. All right. But so we're going to be recording a new show. So hopefully, or a new, I don't know, segment.
Mhm.
Deal. So what we're going to be doing is we just got to figure out a time to actually do it. We will be. It's basically called "Is It Worth Your Macros?" So, or is it worth my macros? And what it will be doing is taking kind of call it fast food, well, I guess anything, right?
It could be some
so-
wings, maybe.
Then that's what made me
Wings
think of
would
it.
probably be
So I'm announcing it right now to put some pressure on myself to actually get it done and filmed and go. Dan helped me film the intro, and I got that ready. But so that was a really important part. Now we just have to film the entire
rest of it.
episode. Yeah.
The episode itself.
But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a establishment somewhere where people like to eat out, and we're going to take kind of the best thing when it comes to your macronutrients and you know, when we're working with flexible nutrition, what's the best thing on the menu, best bang for your buck, and then kind of what is the I don't know, what would be a couple options of like the worst thing. So like the most dense, the highest fat, the crazy stuff, right? And in that, with the crazy stuff, to see if we're going to kind of rank the thing that is good, and we're going to rank the thing that is or good macro wise, and rank the thing that is a poor macro choice or whatever, as far as like taste. So is their healthy option really shitty? Then it might not be. Then you might as well eat something good when you go there, right? If you're going to be spending your money on it. Or is their very, very unhealthy option? Is it, is it really worth your macros, or is it not that great, and might as well save your macros on it? So there's different things that we're going to try to bring up, but we're going to basically be talking about different choices at different, whether it's fast food or local establishments to eat some food and give out their macros and kind of give us each episode will hopefully be kind of a lesson in eating at that restaurant. So we'll have a bunch of their we'll have a bunch of their foods, we'll have a bunch of their stated macros on them and all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about, if you enjoy going to Culver's, if you enjoy going to B-Dubs, whatever the case might be, we'll take those and kind of just talk about, what would be a good option and what would be a yummy option that might still be worth your macros. Sometimes you're celebrating and it's worth to get it. And then sometimes it's a Tuesday and you're just eating somewhere and you want to make the best decision that you can when it comes to your nutrition to stay on point. So what else do we got today? Anything else? Oh, the other thing that I wanted to talk to Dan about, and I'll just do it live on there, is I'd want to get a like situational, whether eventually I'd like people to start submitting these type of questions, but initially we might be able to do something on like Reddit, submitted like fitness questions for.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like a segment that's basically like newbie fitness questions or something like that. So then that would be kind of the thread that you could find on Reddit where everybody and their mom is asking just questions. Maybe they're brand new to fitness, and so we can answer some of those. and then hopefully eventually we will get to talking to people and people submitting questions that are just generic fitness questions that we can answer on here too.
I would love people to ask questions, please.
Yeah, I don't understand why
Please ask
more people don't.
We were talking about that earlier. I was like, I feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I know there's a ton of myths out there, but the problem is I'm just not good at thinking them up at this point.
You just gotta get online and go to like Reddit or go to
Reddit.
Go to Twitter.
Reddit, yeah.
If you go to Twitter and just look up like fitness myths as a header, I'm sure that would go nuts too. So
most of mine I get from Lane.
Oh yeah,
and like
yep.
I could have gone on a seed oil. I think
yeah.
that's been his thing lately. I know.
Yeah, that's because everybody's saying it's so bad.
Everybody thinks that seed oils are bad for you. They're not. There's a
or any.
Now we did 2 fitness myths today.
Or any oils. But yeah. So kind of a short one today. We're excited to get into the new season. We have a bunch of stuff. We will have a decision made for the run. We have 2 options. So there is because I think that Kinships is for cancer as well.
I think it is. Yes.
So I think that there's something to do in association with cancer awareness with Kinships, and then we've also done our own in the past, and so we're just kind of working out the details with what 5K will be involved in this season. And for us, the biggest thing is to see where can we go that or how can we support the American Cancer Society, and how can we do that and have some kind of fundraising, whether that be through any of our T-shirts that we sell or our race that we've done in the past, and then if we do Kinships, how does that work so that we can get some funds to where they need to go in a good cause. So that's kind of what we're deciding. The other thing that we have this season is the Strava race. So those are kind of the 2 activities. We also in the past have had a Halloween party at the end of October. So keep that in mind, and we will have that official schedule out for everybody that's local for all 3 of those events. And when we get those finalized, should be by next week, is we try to get them right after the training camp week and get those rolling. But I think that's it for the season, and we will, let's see, what else do we got? I feel like there's something I'm missing on the season, but if there is, we'll update everybody on the next episode. But until then, you're an athlete. Live like it.
Born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.